Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Darren from Jace Media, and in the chair tonight we have vocal powerhouse from across the pond in Montreal, Canada, Mr. Peter Cat Abrahams from rock band Playhouse. Peter, good afternoon, buddy. How are you?
How are you, sir?
Great, mate. Great. I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having us, and hello, Scotland. It's so amazing to be here.
It's great weather. The sun is shining. It's just after 6:30 in the evening. I've been at work all day, and I really look forward to doing this. You know, having a chat and getting to know you guys.
Right.
Kind of what makes you tick. You know, and obviously you've been around a long time, and just recently brought it back together. How was that?
Well, I'll try and give you the short version of it. So the band started 5 high school friends in 1987. We had a good run, an 8-year run. And then when grunge was basically, starting, we sat down and we said, let's take a cigarette break, which we did. And that cigarette break lasted until 2014. And we started to write new songs. And then in 2017, we started playing again. And 2018, we released our 3rd album called The Rock and Roll Circus. And recently we signed to RFL Records, and we're literally on the eve of releasing our 4th record, which is called Dancing at Funerals. So how's it been? It's been a rock and roll ride and a party and a half. That's what it's been.
What made you decide to get the guys back together? What was the
well, while we took that cigarette break, I went on a vacation to a beautiful place called Cape Town, South Africa.
Yeah.
And I went for 2 weeks, but I extended my trip for 20 years. So one day I was just sitting on the beach with my guitar, and I started singing some old Playhouse songs, and I was like, let me reach out to some of the guys, which I did. And then we started to write songs organically. And then they were like, dude, are you going to come back so we can play some shows? So I'm like, absolutely. So packed up my stuff there and flew back to Canada, and here we are.
Yeah, I have some friends in Canada, a band called The Damn Truth.
We're friends with them. Our drummer Steve was actually pretty close with them, and we all know them. Seen them in different places, but we actually know them well. So they're quite a sensation here in our city. So good on them. More power to anyone that's out there trying to do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we go, I reviewed the album yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Here is my review.
Wow.
So what I do, Peter, I do a track by track of the album.
Wow.
I do a biograph of you guys, kind of what you've been doing, what you've been up to. And then I do the members of the band and the track listing.
Is this like a bad report card and my teacher's telling me what's about to happen?
No, this is, do you know what kind of surprised me, if I can be honest, was that there was a lot of melodic piano that really lifted a lot of the tracks.
Right.
When you're sitting listening to it and the piano comes in, and then all of a sudden, bam, it goes off,
right.
And you still have the piano tones mixed within the track.
Right.
Which is
good for you. Good for you for noticing.
Yeah, very clever. Very, very clever, I must admit. What I don't do, I don't say to people, oh, your album's a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. I don't do that, because at the end of the day, you're 5 guys who've been in the studio and working really hard to bring these tracks to us. And
Right.
I don't believe in saying to someone, yeah, I only thought it was an 8, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I think. You guys have poured your heart into it, and what matters is when you go on tour.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So the thing is that I love reviewing it. It was a brilliant album.
Thank
From the haunting Requiem at the start, which kind of really just set the tone, all the way through, to the Killer Hell's a Long Way Down, which
you. Right.
is a beast of a song. Too Old to Die Young, one of my favourites. My Dealer Departed, one of my favourites, and 1989.
Wonderful.
So you can tell the guys, don't know who wrote them all, but you can tell the guys that was my 4 favourite tracks.
But you said Hell's a Long Way Down. What was 1989? What was the other two?
Too Old to Die Young.
Yeah.
Dealer Departed, 1989.
Fantastic.
So you can tell the guys when you speak to them, hopefully today. And what I'm planning on doing, Peter, is that when I finish doing the interview, I render it down. I then send it off to be digitalized, and then tomorrow I will put it together with the album review, and then we send it out to RFL. We'll send it to you guys, and then we send it to 54 outlets around the world.
Wow, fantastic. Thanks. We appreciate the support.
Not
as
a problem.
always.
It goes to America, it goes to Australia, it goes to Europe, it goes to Japan. We have people all over the place. So we'll try and spread the word for
Thank you.
for Playhouse getting out there. And what's next? Shows, tour,
Well, we, like most bands in the world, we have to stop playing because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So by the time things were starting to lift, the restrictions starting to lift, we started playing like in April. We played a series of about 10 shows. And now we've taken a bit of a break to get ready for the album launch. So we're doing an album launch party in July. And then we'll start our second run with the release of the album. We just released a new single called Champagne.
Yeah.
And the next single will come out in August, I believe. It's the title track, Dancing at Funerals. Yeah. So obviously we're going to do what any band does. We're going to go out and promote our record by playing shows. I think the run will probably go into early. I don't think the run's going to end, actually. I think we're just going to keep going for the next year and a half. However, in that time span, there's talks of dropping an EP by next spring, and maybe possibly doing 2 EPs next year. It's still a bit unclear. All I know is that we are writing to get ready for that moment. And we are actually scheduled to go back into studio mid-October with our longtime producer, friend, mentor, sidekick, Kevin Jardine from Uplift Recording Studios. So we are scheduled, but because we've had so many shows and now the album's coming out, we haven't written as a band as of yet. We've all been writing.
Yeah.
But at some point, I assume by the end of the summer, we're going to need to sit down and say, what are we actually doing here? But I mean, that's the plan. We also have tentative plans that are almost confirmed. We're going to be playing some shows in Mexico.
Okay. Wow.
And next year, we're definitely going to do a long run of the States. But our biggest thing is we want to come over to Europe. And if we can negotiate that for next year, that for me, that would be the main place for us to go right now. It's compact enough, but it seems like the rock world there is really alive.
Yeah, it's amazing. Since January, I've been and reviewed 92 shows.
Wow.
I go out maybe 3-4 times a week, Peter, to different genres, to different styles of music, because I like to immerse myself in different types, rock, blues, jazz.
Sure.
And that helps me a lot when you're reviewing someone a bit of blues. Maybe somebody like Kurt Fletcher, someone like that, or a bit of area Litton, where it's a different style. So when
Yes,
you
of
go,
course.
when you go to different shows, you have to train your ears when you're
Of course.
listening to a specific type of music. But yeah, I think you would do really, really, really well in Europe. But I
We
guess
know we
just
will. Like,
yeah,
we're not only, we write some decent songs, but we're really also a show band. So we have a lot to offer live. And all the years together, I think we've lost an audience once, and that was because maybe someone was sick. So we're a show band. So for us to come to Europe, I think we'd really benefit from it.
yeah,
And we just need to find a promoter that can put something together for us. So if you know anyone or anyone's listening,
yeah.
please contact the station or contact RFR Records about Playhouse or Playhouse directly. We really want to come over next year and do at least maybe 3 weeks of a tour or 2 weeks or whatever. Just come over and get our feet wet to begin with and then see how it goes.
Yeah, listen, I've got some people in Scotland that I know that I can talk to them about stuff.
You shouldn't have said that because you don't know me, man. When people say that to me, next thing you know, I'm calling you at 4 a.m. What's going on? What's going on?
And I'll be like, yeah, I'll be like, no problem, Peter. I'll get back to you in 8 hours.
Wonderful. Me and me. I mean, the team at RFL are amazing, but me and Doug, who's with RFL, we're just relentless with following up with people, and we want to make things happen, and
Yeah. Is that Doug Franklin? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm quite friendly with John.
John's the big man. I mean,
yeah,
he had the vision of RFL. We're so happy to be with John's label. It's such a fantastic family. And that was the main thing why we signed with them. We had 4 other offers. So total we had 5. But they asked us the right questions above all the other labels. And a couple of labels were maybe a tiny bit bigger labels.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they weren't going to be as personalized with us.
Yeah.
And for us, that's important to have to be hands-on with our label.
Absolutely.
And we literally talk to John and Doug 10 to 20 times a day.
Oh.
So
that's good because it's nice that there is a confidence there and there is a connection that, no matter how many times you chat, you're never going to be, you're never going to go, oh my God, he's on the phone again. And right. I think that's a nice thing,
Absolutely.
As I say, when John pitched you guys to me, I covered The Storm, I covered Hills a Long Way Down, and I've just covered Champagne. Mm-hmm. And Champagne's had about 450 hits.
Where?
On my website.
Wow.
So and I guess that's testament to how I write about what you guys play, and basically you guys as well, because there's got to be a likability to a track.
Of course. Champagne is originally wasn't supposed to be on the record. But there's a lot of people in the band that wanted it on the record. Even though I am the co-writer of the song, I was a little more skeptical than everyone else because there was a bit of a departure.
Okay.
For me, it was a huge departure. It wasn't even a departure. It was like, I was like, I don't mind going to Hawaii, but going to the moon, that's a departure, So,
and what was your?
But so far, it's worked out in our favor, and I'm happy.
What was your thoughts about the departure from the other tracks on the album?
Okay, so the way we write, like when we wrote this album, Dancing at Funerals, we don't present 13 songs. We presented 36 songs.
Yeah. And
we make a list of the 36 songs and the ones we definitely don't want on the record. And then the ones we're kind of like, so. So there's a list, B list, C list. And Champagne was literally at the bottom of the C list. And when we played it to our producer, Kevin, first listen, he's like, yeah, this is on the record. It's a hit. And I was like, no, it's not on the record. And I don't care what you say. And that conversation went on for literally 9 months or 10 months, where we had tracked mostly, we only had the drums down for the song, and I think the bass. And the whole time, everyone's buttering me up. Don't worry, it's going to come out. And I'm like, month 9, I'm like, we're not any further than it was. And then one day, me and Kevin sat there, and I said, listen, we got to get this done. And we did. And Danny and Eric, that's our bass player, and our lead guitarist, brought in some very interesting sound effects, which if you listen very carefully, you're going to hear bells and horns and that little guitar riff, whatever it is. That's Eric. So at the end of the day, it came out, and we got our friend Anakin Slade to rap on it. So it's a cute tune. I'll say that.
What I've put in one of my lines, Peter, is it's a funky melodic groove that instantly puts us at ease, and as us thinking of summer days, we were sitting on the porch sipping some Jack and Coke.
There you go. That's pretty much the song in a nutshell, because the original catalyst of that song was summertime. I was at my bass player Danny's house. Me and Danny, by the way, had been best friends since we're 6 years old. We went to kindergarten together. So, our history, we're literally brothers. Anyways, we were drinking red wine, and he started playing this guitar part. And I was just going, I sang literally that chorus. I was like, woman, you stand out like a glass of champagne. So we recorded on our phones. And then I kind of worked on it, and I sent it to him, and he goes, really? You actually worked on that? And I was like, yeah. And then we just filed it. We never thought about it again until Kevin, our producer, brought it up with us. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the message in the song. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I sat and listened to it, and I thought it's about me just kicking back, just chilling out, thinking about summer.
There you
go. And that's the kind of the feel you get from it. And it's a great little record, and it's a lot of love on the website. People are saying, love this track, I love the groove, so.
I mean, it's literally been our biggest track ever so far, and it's only been out for 6 days. So,
So you were obviously proven wrong, Peter, when you said you didn't want it.
Well, I mean, I'm just a songwriter, right? I'm the principal songwriter in the band. I collaborate with pretty much everyone. I don't know these things. I write a song and then I go write another one. I mean, I don't know. People tell me stuff. So, who knows? Don't listen. Moral of the story is don't listen to the singer.
Don't listen to the vocalist. They know nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Listen to the guy in the engine room. He's the man.
Well, he is the man in our case. So,
so when did you guys play your first gig together from the 25-year break?
At a place called Piranha in downtown Montreal. It was literally sold out. We had to turn people away because in our heyday, late 80s, early 90s, we were literally selling out 1,500 seat venues, 2,000 seat venues all the time. And so we got back together in 87 to play that show. It was like, what, a 300, 400 seater. It sold out within days. And it's quite magical night. I think my bass player literally wrote 1989. I'll give him that because I'm the main songwriter. So when he presented that song, I was like, you can't put a song on the record. No, I'm just kidding. But he actually wrote the lyrics. And he literally wrote the whole thing.
This is all on tape, remember? So you can't get away.
Yeah, no, he did an absolute great job. Obviously, the demo he gave me, because he sounds like George Thorogood. He's like, So it was a very monotone version of it. And he just said to me, here's the melody, here's the lyrics, make it your own, which obviously I did. And it came out really, really good. And, people our age seem to enjoy that track a lot. So, so he wrote that same night, the night that we actually did our first comeback show. So, yeah.
Brilliant. So do you all live in Montreal?
We do.
Yes. Cool. And how does that help that you're all in the same place, that you can walk down the street to the house and chat? Or
so back in 87 when we started, we literally lived together. We were together 24 hours. We used to tour, play 200 shows a year. When we weren't touring, we were rehearsing every day. And then, there's that huge break and we come back and we're all older men and some of the guys have kids and families. So unfortunately, we don't hang out as much as we'd like to because people have their own lives. But the band's still a priority. So like we have our rehearsal schedule each week. Some of us, we have a Facebook chat group. So we chat in that all day long, the band. And but unfortunately not as much as we like to, except when we go away on tour.
Yeah.
Then we have time to spend with each other.
Yeah. Which is, I guess that's a good balance, that
for sure.
A couple of the guys have got kids because like you said, you get older and what you're going to do, bum around for all of your life. You meet a woman and you have kids, you settle down, and you kind of think, maybe this is my life, this is what it's all about, and then the chance meeting comes up to get back together. Now, this is a question. Sure. What we kind of touched on it at the start. What made you guys make the decision to disband when you did?
Well, again, me and Danny especially, we're as much as we're songwriters, performers, we're also businessmen. And the tide had turned in 1994. So we weren't quite sure where to go. So we just said, let's take a pause and let's see if this grunge thing will let's write it out. And by the time 1997 came along, I got onto a plane and I left. So that was the reason. And we had gone for almost 8 years very hard. So we needed a break. We needed to, reassess. And, fortunately or unfortunately, it took longer than we thought to actually end that cigarette, making it back together. Yeah.
So is the magic still there?
Oh, it's just magical.
Yeah. The brotherhood's still
literally
there.
I mean, if it wasn't, we wouldn't be doing it because, we're not doing it for the cash, right? We're just doing it to get our music out there. The magic's there.
In people's faces.
Exactly. Yeah. So, obviously we'd like to cover our costs, but in general, if the magic wasn't there, we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think you've got to feel, get into the room and feel the guys and, and make sure it's going to work, because the old saying is you don't want to flog a dead horse, go in and try and make it work if it's not flowing.
No, we have no motivation to do that. But also it's, we've been friends. I mean, most of us were friends before we even started the band. So to us, it's also the sentimental, emotional thing for us. Like, we're still together. People just love to hear our story. How we started, we're still together. Yeah. Same guys in the band. Like, how did you guys pull that off? How are you still pulling it off? So that's when we play a show. A lot of people usually come to our shows just because they also want to live that whole sentimental, bring them back in time. Though we have quite a big range of age groups these days. We've noticed that, from 20-year-olds to 55-year-olds, even older sometimes. So
yeah, but I guess that's testament to you guys that you're writing and playing tunes that resonate with younger people, you know, because rock music is alive and everyone, you know, I love going to gigs. I always say to everyone, Peter, that when I do this type of thing, the one-on-one interview, I this is the favorite part of my job because you get an insight into the band, the guys in the band, what makes you tick. And then I think there's a bit of a friendship that comes from that because I know that when you're doing, you know, if you release another couple of singles from the album, then you do the album launch and then you do the EPs, I'll be there to review the stuff and get the stuff out, you know, because I think that we're going to be having a long relationship with RFL.
You know, well, you know, we rely and appreciate and are very grateful for people like you that support people like us. I mean, without you, we couldn't get it out there and spread the word, right? So thank you very much on behalf of me and everyone.
Peter, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Now, this is your time to plug the record, plug your tour, and plug trying to get a promoter for Europe and Britain. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, on July 22nd, 2022, the long-awaited Dancing at Funerals, our new record by Playhouse, is coming out on RFL Records worldwide. And the continuation of our Too Old to Die Young tour, which will bring us from Canada to the States to Mexico and to any promoter that has enough balls to bring us over to Europe. We are coming. We are coming. We are coming. All you promoters, reach out to either the station, RFL, or Playhouse. We'll talk. We want to come to Scotland, and we want to rock and roll in Europe.
Excellent. Fantastic. After we finish the interview, you can drop me your email address when we're off camera, and I'll send you my review so you can show it to the guys.
Oh, fantastic.
All right. And then you guys can critique my writing and tell me how good or how bad it is. Is that fair enough?
Thank you very much.
Listen, Peter, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thanks for taking the time. Say hi to the guys when you speak to them today. Yeah. The video and the review should be out tomorrow.
So we can post it? We can post it to our...
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll do is when we finish, I'll get your email address and I will email this review to you straight away. And then you can have a read at it and see what you think.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. This is
to everyone in Scotland, thank you very much. It's been a great time. Rock and roll will save the world.
This is Darren from Jace Media in conversation with vocal powerhouse Peter Cat Abrahams from Montreal Rockers Playhouse, saying thanks for your time, Peter. Enjoy the album, get rocking, and then come to Scotland.
We'll be there soon. Peace.
Take care. So, give me your email address, Peter.
Thank you very much for that interview. It was very nice.
Listen, not a problem. I really enjoy it. I enjoy just getting to know people. And I see you posting a fair bit on Facebook. And, you know, I say to people, oh, I'm going to be interviewing this guy in a couple of days, you know. And I guess it's about getting, you know, your take as a musician and a rock star when you're out on the other side of the world, you know, doing stuff. Absolutely. So it's quite nice.
Thank you. So my email would be playhousemanagement87.
Right, give me a sec. All lowercase?
Yes, playhousemanagement87.
Playhouse management 87, yeah.
At gmail.com.
Email. I will send this to you when we come off of air. And you can let me know what you think. You can tell John, you can tell Doug, and then they can come on and give me grief, or they can come on and drop me a big bag of cash. Whatever works for you, Peter. Whatever works for you.
Thank you very much for your time, though.
Take care, buddy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.